Starting this September 11th, the Fairbury Journal-News will be launching its Newspapers and Education program. And here to speak with us today is Carol Sprunk, Fairbury Journal-News Circulation Manager and the new Newspapers and Education Coordinator. So Carol, I'm really interested in this. I have 2 children in the school system and I think it's great. What I really want to know is what inspired you to bring this into Fairbury?
Well, the idea sort of stemmed from my son was in the private school in Jansen, and he received a newspaper over there from the Beatrice Daily Sun, and he would bring it home every day and talk about it and be excited about the articles he was reading and showing me the store circulars and coupons and things like that. And when we brought it back to Fairbury Public Schools, they didn't offer anything similar to that. So when I started here in December, asked about it, talked about it, researched it, and finally got the ball rolling.
Did it take quite a while to get it all into progress? And
It did. It's taken since then, so several months. But it's coming a long way, and it's going really well.
tell us a little bit of the benefits that the children will have being able to read about the local news and how the teachers play a part in this.
Well, not only are the kids going to be receiving a newspaper every day, but we are adding content to our newspaper for children. So this will help the teachers with activities to do with the kids. There's a different theme every week that the kids will work on. The content has a weekly writing corner, so the kids will get involved by writing stories based on a different theme every week as well.
That will be published in the paper?
Yes, yep.
Cool.
The teachers will choose a story every week that the children have written and publish it in our paper.
Great. As parents, what can we do at home to kind of help initiate the program?
Well, we've had a really big response from both Fairbury and Tri-County schools. We're still waiting to see if the Diller Odell schools and Meridian will participate in the program, but as a parent, and it'll be up to the teacher's discretion whether or not they're going to send the newspapers home when they're done or they'll use them for different projects in the school, but parents can help by reading the articles with their kids, discussing what happens and what's in the paper, and it just all around helps children learn to read and write better.
Right. So will each classroom get one newspaper, or will each student get their own paper and read together?
Each classroom will get enough papers for every student and the teacher. So each kid will have their own content to work on, different articles to read on their own time or all together as a group.
And now businesses from around Fairbury have sponsored
Yes.
the classroom pages, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. We are seeking sponsorships outside of the schools to make this a free, consumable, interactive resource for our schools. So we are partnering with the schools to get free newspapers in there, seeking sponsorships outside the schools.
And this is not a moneymaker. I mean, this is strictly Fairbury Journal-News partnering
Yes.
with the schools to better education.
Correct. We're trying to help promote literacy by providing newspapers to the schools, and it's a different type of material. It's current events. It's something we can't find in our textbooks.
Okay, so the weekly writing corner, will that actually be in the newspaper, or it will be an insert? Can you kind of let us know where to look for this?
Yes. The Kids Scoop page will be a full page of content, and our school event page and weekly writing corner will be a separate page. That will contain our school events and what's going on in the schools, what the teachers want to share with everybody, different activities and photos, and that will also include the weekly writing corner every week, and a place for our sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsors are important to us, so we want everyone to know who's helping.
Right. And the school events, will that be each school in Fairbury, each school that signed
We're
up?
really looking for all of the schools within Jefferson County. to participate in the program. And we understand that the needs of schools are different and the priorities are different. So we're really happy to have Tri-County and Fairbury on board already.
Right. So I have to ask, I hear a rumor that the Journal News will be getting a comics page.
Yes. The same day that we're launching all of our Kids Scoop content and the whole NIE page all together, we will also have an additional comics page. It will contain puzzles and horoscopes and all kinds of fun things.
Sounds like a big twist in the Fairbury Journal News for
Yes, it is.
September 11th.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, thanks, Carol, so much. I look forward to reading that section.
Thank you, Nicole.
That old wash machine just not cutting the mustard? Really? Bring your clothes to Dirty Biz Laundry at 521 C Street. Our state-of-the-art machines will cut your laundry time in half.
If you've driven on Highway 8 recently near Diller, you've noticed some continued progress on the wind turbines. And our staff writer, Sandy Zabertrisky, had a chance to tour along with some SEC students. You want to tell us a little bit about your tour and what all you saw and learned?
I was very impressed with the safety measures that they took, and I was equally impressed with the time that both project managers, Josh Tran and Dave Farkas, took to explain things, to answer questions that I had. Previous to coming to the turbine area, I had asked some questions and he didn't know the answers to. When I arrived, he was able to give me the answers. They were able to give me statistics. They took the time. There were several sites in several different stages of development. Dave Farkas took us around to all of those. He explained in detail what was going on. I was lucky enough to tour with an SCC group that are planning to be project managers, most of them on nuclear power plants. So they had some very detailed questions, and every question was answered with competence, detail. He explained everything, and he made sure that everybody understood, and he took the time. The time I was there, it was approximately 4 hours.
Really?
Then after that, he dropped me off at my car, and he was still taking the students on to additional sites.
So it was a full day tour for them?
I think it ended up being that way, yes.
Now, I drove by their work site that they have, kind of their homing based. Did they purchase that land, or will they have to repair that back to how it was?
The land is basically leased from the landowners, the way I understand it. The places where they have plowed, like they've had to plow out some rows of corn or milo or whatever was planted there, will be returned back. They call it returning the footprint.
Right.
And next year, farmers will be able to plant up to about 10 feet of all the work turbine bases. And Josh Tran told me that ranchers have found that the animals actually like the wind turbines because they gather around the turbines for shade.
Okay. So besides the obvious benefits of the wind turbines, are there any interesting facts that you learned while you were there?
The returning footprint I talked briefly about, and Josh Tran told me that in other turbine areas, animals that graze around the turbines actually use the turbines for shade.
Okay.
And I was amazed to find they only needed 6 miles per hour wind velocity for the rotors to turn and work.
Wow.
And this is going to be a prototype site for working on batteries that
Okay.
will actually store the energy, so that in times when there's no wind, it'll still have electricity to be used,
Very
which is
cool.
new.
Very, yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Head Start in Fairbury has taken a significant hit due to sequestration and is already worried about next year. Sherry Miller, director of Head Start, said that they had to close a program in Smith Center, Kansas already. This program had been in operation for 18 years and directly affected 17 children and their families. There is already discussion about another year of sequestration that Miller said she is concerned about. At this point, it isn't clear if the cuts would remain at the 5.2% or be higher or lowered. She isn't sure what alternative she would have to use to further reduce their budget.
The game is in like 10 minutes. I need my Jeff Spirit wear now.
We got you covered, ma'am.
Here you go, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was so fast.
MSA, we do everything fast.
Oh, great. Bye.
Are you tired of your space being wasted by those minimum quantity orders? Make those unneeded prints disappear at McBaddis. At McBaddis, we can print you anywhere from 1 to 100,000 items. This will save you space and keep your money in the bank instead of in the warehouse. McBaddis, we want to be your printer.